Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing well. So today in this video we've got a new casting leak to go over thanks to Geeky over on whatseries.com. Now unfortunately very little is known about who this new actress will be playing and just how big or small the role is. But without further ado, I'm just going to go into the little bits of detail about the new actress and her role that we do know. So her name is Lila Costa, and she's joining the cast obviously for season 2. What we do know about her role is the nickname that the show, or the code name that the show has given it. So that is going to be known as Magdalena. Now that is as far as it is and goes surrounding who, or how big or small a role she will be playing in the second season. Very shortly we'll be getting into a huge list of characters that she could potentially be playing in the second season, which we know are introduced in the second book, The Great Hunt, and that is quite a long list to go over as well. But just a little bit more information on Costa herself and just her kind of acting credentials. So she began acting quite late at the age of 26. She's had numerous kind of roles in movies and television shows. And she also has kind of run awards for her performances in those. For example, she won Best Actress at the Berlin Film Awards, the first non-German to do so. She's recently starred in the film Lullaby, for which she won Best Actress at the 25th Malaga Film Festival. She also has been in this really interesting film where they shot it all in one take, which is quite unusual and unique to be doing in film. So that's something interesting, to note about her kind of acting credentials to date. So yeah, that is what we know about her role, which is very little. But as I said, we can go into all these list of newly introduced characters in The Great Hunt that Costa could potentially be playing in the second season. Now, thankfully, what we can do straight away with this list is, of course, cut out all the male characters which are introduced and just focus in on the females. And something else which will greatly help narrow the kind of range we have here when it comes to the number of characters is, I think it's more important that we focus in on, ironically, the more important and bigger roles that these new characters which are introduced into this second book, The Great Hunt, have moving forward. Because as we all know, when it comes to a show, when they're adapting a book series that has so many characters that the Wheel of Time does, they're going to have to make loads of cuts, particularly so for characters which have very small roles, as it's just not a plausible thing to have in a show. You're going to have to focus in on the more important, newly introduced characters that have a longer and wider lasting importance to the story overall that you're trying to show in this, television series. So that, greatly helps us cut down the new characters that she could be potentially be playing. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a list of these characters up on the screen now for us all to go over, and then we can kind of go through each of them and just have a very brief moment to talk about their roles and who they interact with and whatnot. And then I will give you my personal opinion on who she could potentially be playing, and then perhaps you guys would like to leave a comment in the comments down below on who you think she might be playing as well. Right, so here is that list. As you can see, it's not super duper long. I've left off quite a few people mentioned in passing that weren't actually physically introduced into the book series at this point in time. Perhaps they will use someone from there, but perhaps not. But I just wanted to keep it down and short to a list of female characters which were actually introduced in The Great Hunt. Now, as you would imagine, with a list such as this, we're going to get many Aes Sedai. We're going to get many women from the Saunchen side of things, and as you can imagine, that is to be the case with the list. We have 3 Aes Sedai and an accepted. We have Saunchen officers. We've got Suldam. We have Maidens of the Spear. We have an Illuminator as well by the name of Eludra. So yeah, there are quite a few noteworthy characters that she could be playing. Now, how do I feel about each of these individually? I think really it's quite plausible she could be playing any one of these characters. There isn't really a particular reason why she couldn't be playing any of them. So yeah, I think there's an equal chance of her being Eludra as there is a chance of her being, say, Egwene. I think there's an equal chance of her being Pedra, and in much the same way there is a chance of her being any number of the Aes Sedai and women from Saunchen. So yeah, you can't really necessarily narrow down the list per se. But yeah, that is the list. Who do you think she could be potentially playing? Maybe you have more of a, I don't know, informed opinion on it that you'd like to leave in the comments down below. Let me know. I'd be interested to see who you all would see her playing in the second season. So yeah, that is Acosta and who she will be potentially playing. Now, there is of course some other piece of information within this article on whatseries.com that we can go over very briefly at the end of this video, and that is of course Stuart Kenneth Moore's role. Now, I haven't covered him at all on the channel as I took quite a long break, but he had a role all the way back in February where he spoke about this particular, scene that he had to shoot out in the Czech forest in the cold midnight air. Just a little update on that now. He has included the addition of his role now known as the Stable Master. So yeah, there's one little small piece of added information on his particular role. Anyway guys, that is the end of the video. I hope you've all enjoyed it. If you have, please leave a like on the video. And I will catch you all later on in the week or next week for another Wheel of Time video.